Hey guys, welcome back. So today I'm trying to get ready for feeder calves. We ought to be getting a couple steers next week or the week after. So I'm trying to get some way to feed the cows and water the cows, trying to get that ready. So what I'm making here is a hay feeder, and it's going to be to feed small square bales to cattle. And that's a little abnormal. A lot of people just use round bales, but we make square bales here. So it's going to be fairly small feeder. It's going to be portable. It's going to be where I can either drag it around the field or lift it up with a tractor and move it around. But when we're done, it's going to be big enough that the cows can get their heads in there, eat the hay, and I want to put a roof over the top of it as well, try to keep the hay dry as much as we can. So using the material I got laying around here, trying not to buy anything to do this. So I think I've got enough that we can do it. So the bottom of it is some treated lumber here at the bottom. The rest of it's going to be non-treated, what the cows will touch and eat off of. So I've got some bunch of lumber left over from our log home build. I got some pine siding and some 2x4s and 2x6s, and we're going to start putting this together. I did base this off of a plan that I found on LSU, Louisiana State University's website. They have a lot of different cattle and ag plans on there, hay feeders, corrals, feedlots. They've got all these different plans on there, and I found a small portable hay feeder, and that's what I'm pretty much mimicking. It's going to be very similar to what I found on LSU's website. So let's go ahead and see if we can get it built, and then we'll move on to a water trough. Oh man, none of these batteries want to work in the cold. It's 10 degrees out here, it's pretty cold. So I've got the bottom part of the hay feeder done. I'm pretty happy with the way this bottom part has turned out. So on the bottom we built a feed bunk, and it's 33 inches wide, it's 6 feet long, and the sides are 11 inches tall. So that should fit a full bale of hay in there without any issues. So then we've come up and we've put our slats on the side for the cows to be able to reach through and eat. I put these on a 27-degree angle, and I put a 16-inch wide opening for them to be able to put their head through there. So I think that's plenty of room for the cows to be able to reach through there and eat. And then I've built the 4 corners up. I followed the plans. The plans showed a 7-foot high corners to build your roof off of. And after I put those up, I immediately thought, well, that's way too tall. I don't need a roof that tall. And all I need to do is I just need to be able to take a square bale of hay and be able to reach it over this top rail and be able to put it inside. And this is way too much space to be able to do that. Way more space than I need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut those sides down. We're going to shorten the roof a little bit. And then when I'm done, I should have about a 22-inch wide opening, which should still be plenty enough room to be able to get my bale of hay inside of there. So let's go ahead, cut these corners down a little bit and try to see if we can build our roof real quick. So the hay feeder is pretty much done. I didn't end up having enough screws to screw the roof down as good as I needed to. So I'm gonna have to go buy some more roofing screws and then put a few more in there and make it secure. But other than that, it's pretty much done. So the way I plan on using this, I mean, it can be used and fed from all sides. But the way I plan on to start using it is I'm gonna put this right up against my field fencing. And so I try to get this side as close to the field fencing as possible. And then the top of our fencing is roughly about the same height as this top rail. So I should be able to reach right over our woven wire fence and put a bale in and feed the cows without having to get inside of the pasture with the cows. At least that's the way I'm going to try to use it. We'll never know till I finally get it out there to the pasture and try to actually do it. But that's the plan for the hay feeder. So I'll probably just pick it up with the tractor forks and I'll haul it out there the first time. But what I may do is I may attach a rope or a chain or something to these runners and eventually be able to just drag it around with a vehicle or four-wheeler or something like that. So the next thing I need to do is I need to go ahead and get their waterer ready. So I bought Well, let's just go show you. I'll show you what I bought. So this is what I ended up buying. This is a Rubbermaid 100-gallon stock tank. And I know a lot of people probably have certain feelings on whether you should use one of these or whether you should use a metal one. Of course, I don't have an opinion yet, so I just read some reviews online, and the biggest concern I think that people had with these was breaking in the wintertime. And a lot of people said don't let it freeze or you'll end up probably getting a crack in it and it'll become more brittle. So what I ended up buying, I bought a heater to go in the bottom. There's a drain plug here in the bottom, and I bought this heater that is made to go in there. All the dogs are going crazy. So this heater is made specifically for Rubbermaid stock tanks. They have a universal one, and then they have one that's made for Rubbermaid. So I read about this heater online, and it's a 1500 watt heater, so it pulls a lot of juice. But it is got a thermostat in there, and it should kick on and off at 35 degrees. So it should regulate the water temperature, and it shouldn't have to come on the warmer days. So let's go ahead, we're going to take the plug out of here and see if we can get this installed. So I've got the gasket on this side, and that element should be raised up off the floor like that. Alright, now I'm going to put another gasket on this side, and then the washer. Okay, everything looks like it's straight. Go ahead and tighten it down. Alright. Alright, so when I go put this out in the pasture, I'll put this side up against the fence, and then that way I can have my extension cord go down the fence line and it'll be away from any animals stepping on it. Now I can't try this out until I put water in it, and I'm just going to wait until we get the cows. So I think this is all ready to go. The hay feeder's ready to go, except for some screws in the roof. But yeah, I think we're pretty much ready to finally get some cows. Well, the sun has finally come out for a little bit. It's almost sunset, so it won't be out for very long. It has been a cold day today. The highest it was while I was out here trying to build the hay feeder was 12 degrees. That is cold. Cold day out here, and it's going to get colder all week long. And I've got like 3 layers on. That's why I don't have a jacket or anything on. I always layer up. I hate to wear bulky jackets. So I've stayed warm. My hands are cold. My face has been cold. So the water trough, when I bring that out here, I'm going to put it on the pasture side of this barnyard fence here. There's a water hydrant right there. I should be able to just run a short little hose over there and be able to fill the water trough up. And then I'll run an extension cord down this fence line here and then run it over into the barn to be able to plug that heater in. And that should work pretty good. When we first get the cows, we'll keep them separated from the goats. We'll keep the cows out here in the big pasture, and we'll let the goats and the chickens go in the little pasture behind the barn. So the hay feeder I built was inspired off of a plan that I found on LSU's website. So I will leave a link, if I can find it, I'll leave a link to the plan that I went and kind of followed. I didn't do it exactly the same at all. Everything I did, I changed it to meet the materials and stuff I had on hand. But I'll show the plan that I based it off of. And the roof on it is flat. and I'm pretty sure wherever I put it in the pasture, it will not be level. So it'll always be one way or the other for the water to run off. And probably the big thing that I need to probably go back and do is LSU's plans showed bolting all of those wooden slats. And I used screws to hold the majority of that together. It was all held with screws. So I will probably need to go get some bolts and go back and bolt a lot of those pieces of wood together, because I'm sure cows can be rough. You guys were probably already thinking that when I was building it. You're like, oh, that isn't going to last. Those screws will pull out. And that's true. It probably could happen. So I definitely need to go back and get some bolts and bolt that together with some washers, and hopefully it'll be a little more stout to hold up against the cows. So hopefully it'll work out. I mean, if it doesn't, at least I'm not out anything. I didn't pay for any of that material, you know, today or anything. That was all stuff that's been laying here in the barn since we built our house. So I mean, it's just something that's been lying around. So good use to some scrap material. But yeah, I think we're ready for cows. Can't wait to get them. It'll be a challenge, I think, to learn something new, and it'll probably be a little bit intimidating to have some cows. But I think we're ready for it. I think we're ready for the challenge. So anyway, I think that is it for today. It's going to be a cold week here. We are going to be fighting cold weather the rest of this week. It's going to get down to 0 or below 0 with negative wind chills of negative 15, negative 20. And that's cold for here. You got to understand, that's cold for where we live. So wish us luck. Hopefully the week will go well and we won't run into any problems. So anyway, that's it for today's video, guys. So I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Hey guys, before I end today's video, I'd like to do a shout out. I've been wanting to do this for a while. I want to do a shout out to some of the YouTube channels that I watch. Ever since we've been wanting to raise cows and to get more livestock, I've been trying to do my research. I've been doing a lot of reading, but I also watch a lot of farm channels on YouTube. So I thought I would share my favorite farm channels that I watch. Now I watch several channels and farm channels. I've almost subscribed probably close to 200 people on YouTube, but I thought I'd share just my favorite farm channels, and if you guys haven't heard of them, maybe you guys can check them out. So my favorite channel to watch, the one I watch the most consistently, would be Just a Few Acres Farm. Now they're a farm in New York. They raise Dexter cattle, pastured poultry, turkeys and chickens, and they raise pastured pork. And they also have an egg-laying flock as well. And I think Pete at Just a Few Acres Farm, his role model, I think what a lot of his farm is based off of is Joel Salatin. I know he's read a lot of Joel Salatin books, and I think he tries to follow that model. And another thing about Pete is he has a lot of old tractors. He's got a lot of old Farmall tractors. He does all the work around the farm with those, and he also bales his own hay for his cows. And so if you like old tractors, or if you just want to check him out, it's a great farm channel to watch. So another channel that I watch is Farmer Tyler Ranch. So he is a farmer. I believe he's in Northern California. So he's got a cattle herd out there, and he also bales his own hay for his cows, and he does a lot of work with the cattle where he runs them through the chute and does different things with them. He's built his own corral system, but he's always got a lot of videos where he's working his cattle. So Farmer Tyler Ranch, if you want to check out that channel. And then I do watch Greg Judy. I know a lot of you suggest Greg Judy as well. So Greg Judy does a complete rotational grazing year-round. He doesn't put them in a stockyard. He moves his cattle pretty much 2 times a day most of the year, and he has a cattle herd, he has a sheep flock, and he continually grazes those through the wintertime on stockpiled areas of tall grass, and he does roll some hay out for him. So he tries to do a complete rotational system. His system is a low input system where he buys a little bit of hay and that's about it, and some minerals. And then it's just the rotational grazing system, and moving them around keeps his animals healthy and keeps them on fresh grass. So that's probably the top 3 cattle farmers that I watch. So Another channel you might want to check out that I've been watching is called Sheraton Park Farms, and they raise pastured pork. He's got a lot of pastured pork videos, and of course they raise pastured chickens and poultry as well, and they sell at the farmers market. So you might check out Sheraton Park Farms. And then another channel is one I actually just discovered a couple days ago, and I thought the videos were pretty good videos, pretty good quality videos. So it's a young woman who decided to become a first-generation farmer. Of course, she still works a full-time job, but she's decided to raise beef cattle and sheep, and she runs them together as a flock and a herd together, and then she's trying to do a rotational grazing system and move them on a daily basis, at least through the summertime. And I think in wintertime she's moving them slower. But her sister helps her out. They also do have some chickens as well. But first-time farmer trying to raise these animals on some of her family's land. And the thing that was shocked me is she's pretty new YouTuber, only has 340 subscribers, somewhere in there. So I thought she did a pretty good job of making videos. So you might check out that channel. That is The Shepherdess. So check out The Shepherdess. So that's 5 YouTube channels, farm channels that I think that I enjoy to watch. And if you go over to them and you check them out and you like their channels and you subscribe, just tell them that Country View Acres, Evan at Country View Acres, send them over to check them out. So I think that's it for today's video, guys. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.